So welcome all. Today we are going to say something more about how an instruction in the vector mode will be executed with vector processors. However, in the last video we have seen something about the vector memory organization, how it is being stored in banks, and because of that we will be able to sustain one element per clock cycle. What was happening? If one memory access takes 11 clock cycles, so the first access will take 11 clock cycle, and the for the next access it will take just one clock cycle for each access. Okay, so suppose you have to access 15 data. In that case, access will take 11 clock cycle, and then for rest of it will take just one clock cycle each. So now let us move for this example. Suppose this example, you can understand this example where it says you have to take average of two vectors A and B. So if at all it is a scalar code, in this scalar code what will happen? You will initialize register R0 with value 50, because the length of A and B are 50. So 50, and in this register R1 you are moving the address of A, in R2 you are moving the address of B, you are having the address of A and B. You also keep the address of C in R3 where you have to store the result. Now you are having a loop. So here it is a loop. How it is working? First of all, you will load. In R4 you are loading from memory. R1 is specifying the address, so R1 is the address of A. So you are getting data from A and storing in R4 the first element, and you are incrementing it. Then in from R2 is having the address of B, so the first element of B in R5, and then this particular thing is stored, this R2 is incremented. Then what is happening? In R6 you are saving the summation of R4 and R5. In R4 you were having first element of A, and R5 you were having first element of B. So these two values are added and stored in R6. Now this R6 is shifted. Shifted means if you are performing the right shift, it means you are dividing it by 2. Okay, so in R7 you are storing the result after division. This value of R7 is to be stored in C, so address of C is in R3. So in memory R3 you are storing this value of R7, and after doing this you are checking the value of R0. Okay, before checking you are decrementing it. So you decremented the R0. R0 was 50, now it is 49. You checked whether it is 0 or not. If it is not 0, then you will have to branch. If not 0, branch to X. So then from here you are going to X again, and then you are performing the same operation again, and you are decrementing the R0, and this is repeated 50 times. Okay, so total number of instruction here is, you can understand, these first 4 instructions, and these instructions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 executed 50 times. So all the 50 times you will have to fetch this instruction and execute them. So 50 into 6, it is 300, and these 4 instructions, 304 dynamic instruction. Now let me say this load will take 11 clock cycle, and store will also take 11 clock cycle, addition will take 4 clock cycle, this branch operation will take 2 clock cycle. Then in that case how many number of clock cycles it will take? Okay, So you can understand these are the 4 clock cycle. Here these particular, add them and multiply by 50. So you will get something like 2004 clock cycles. If at all you are getting the data per clock cycle from the memory, if at all it is you are having 16 banks, in that case it will be little faster and you will get the data. So you will be able to do it in 1504 clock cycle. Why 16 banks? Because memory latency, we are knowing that memory latency is 11 clock cycle. So if 16 is more than 11, then it is okay, we can achieve data access per clock cycle. So it will make your access faster. So once it is made faster, you will be able to get the data fastly, and you will be able to work within 1504 clock cycle. But this is just a scalar processing. Let us see what happens if it is vectorized. So if it is vectorized, what is happening? You have to execute this loop, right? So first of all, you will have to specify the vector length. Vector length is 50. Suppose we are supposing that the size of our vector registers is more than 50, maybe 64 kind of thing. So v stride is 1, and in v0 we are storing the whole vector a. Load the vector a in v0, load the vector b in v1. So in two vectors we are having a and b, we have loaded the whole vector. For loading one vector, maybe you will take 11 plus vector length minus 1, which is 11 plus 49. For loading second also, you will take 11 plus 49. For addition, you can understand you will perform vector addition. So it is also pipelined. So first addition will take 4 clock cycle, and rest of outputs will start coming in just 1 clock cycle each, right? Now for shift operation also the same thing will happen. There will be a shift unit, you can understand. It will also be pipelined, so it will perform, it is already performing 1 clock cycle output. So 1 plus 49, it will give you output in 50 clock cycle. The rest next is vector stored. It will store your v3, another output vector register. So you will store this v3 in C. For storing also it will take 11 plus per clock cycle, right? So total here you will see the number of instruction you have to fetch from the memory. It will be just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 instructions only. The number of clock cycles will also reduce. It will be 1 clock cycle, it is 11 plus 49, it is around 60. This is also 60. 4 plus 49, it is 53, it is 50, and this is again 60, right? So add these all, you will get something like 285 clock cycles. So here in this diagram you can see, in this chart I should say, you can see the first clock cycle. After that it will take 11 plus 49 clock cycle, 11 plus 49 clock cycle. After these loads are completed, we are starting the addition. So addition is taking 4 plus 49 clock cycle, and then 1 plus 49, then again 11 plus 49. This was the story when you were able to load from the memory bank. First access was 11, and then per clock cycle you were getting the output. However, you were having the memory port, a single memory port. Because of that, you were not able to access two memory locations. So first memory load was completed, then second started. So let it be. One thing that you can understand is here here we are loading A, then we are starting loading B. Once at this position, what is happening, you have the first element of B, you have all the elements of A, and you have the first element of B. So at this point only you can start the addition. However, you are waiting till this load is completed. Why? Because chaining is not allowed. Okay, if at all chaining will be allowed, you will be able to start this add operation as soon as the first element of the B will be loaded. Okay, so let us see what happens in chaining. This is a simple example of chaining where you can understand this is something called data forwarding. So suppose we have three instructions. One is load the vector v1. Okay, the second is multiply the vector v1 and v2 and store in v3. Okay, and the fourth is addition of v3 and v4 and store in v5. So we have separate units, we already know. So the first unit is load unit. It is loading from memory. It is loading the vector. As soon as the first element of the vector is here, we can start the second unit. The first, because we know now onwards we will get the data per clock cycle. So second vector is here ready, per clock cycle we are getting the data, and here also we will start getting per clock cycle data. So we can start this multiply unit, and as soon as the first output starts coming of v3, we can start the third instruction, add unit. Okay, so this is something which is called data chaining. So if you will use this data chaining in your particular example, you can start your execution of addition from this place. Okay, so it will take just 4 clock cycle to perform first addition, and as soon as the first addition is completed, you can start the shift operation for it. So it will take this much time till here, and as soon as first shift operation is done, you are not starting the store operation. Why? Because you have a single port memory. So at one instance of time, either you can read or you can store, means any one operation can be performed. So you have to wait till the read operation is completed, and after that you are starting the store operation. Okay, so the total time taken here will be 49 and then 50, right? No, means this all operation 1 1 11 49 11 49 and plus 50, so it is 182 clock cycles. Now this was the story when we were having just single port memory. If at all you will have two load ports and one store ports, then what will happen? In that case, you can start loading from here, and after just one clock cycle you can give the next address to store, to access, and two load can be running parallelly. And as soon as the first output comes, two operands are ready, you can start addition. First addition is completed, you can start shifting, and first shift is completed, you can start storing. So then you will be able to complete in just 1 plus 11 plus 49, and you can count it from here. So it is total 79 clock cycles, which is suppose 19 times faster than particular scalar processing. Okay. Then one more thing that you have to say is, what if the data elements, the number of data elements is more than the number of elements in the vector? Suppose the size of the vector register is 64. So the data stored, that can be stored is 64 only. Okay. Now you have data of size 527. So for this 527, what you can do is, you will have to iterate for certain times. You will iterate for 8 iteration. Okay, and in this 8 iteration you will keep the VLAN 64. Each time you will take 64 elements from the memory and operate on them. In the last iteration, you will keep the vector length 15, okay, because in 8 iterations 64 into 8 it will be 512. The only thing will be remaining will be 15 elements will be remaining. So in the last iteration you will keep vlen and 15, so from 0 to 14 you will use, and the rest of thing will not be used. Okay, so this thing of using a particular part of the vector register and not using the rest, you will call it as vector strip mining. Strip mining is basically a word coming from the mining, where you try to find important things from the land and discarding the wastage. It means discarding the unwanted material. Okay, so here in our case, what is happening, you have a vector register. In this vector register you are using certain part of it, and the rest is being wasted, so you are not using the rest of it, so you are saying it is as vector strip mining. Okay, so for now thank you. We will see some more details about these in next video. Thank you.